Hi guys, my name is Carrie. If you watched my previous video, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience with a double proxy marriage. Back in February, my now husband and I decided to do a double proxy marriage through the state of Montana because he was stationed in Germany at the time and I was living in Wisconsin. So I'm just going to talk about my experience with that and the process that we went through. Let's get started. You might be wondering what the heck a double proxy marriage even is. A double proxy marriage is when two people who aren't able to be in the same place have two other people, proxies, who are authorized to stand in for them at the courthouse in their place. So there are two different options, a single or a double proxy marriage. In the case of a single proxy marriage, there is one person who is present and one person who is located somewhere else. There are different requirements for that based on the state. Also, single proxy marriages are only legal in California, Colorado, and Texas. A double proxy marriage, on the other hand, is when both parties are unable to be in that state in court. So, double proxy marriages are only legal in the state of Montana. There are a few requirements for who is eligible for a double proxy marriage, but I will talk about that in the next section. My husband and I decided to go with a double proxy marriage because we were living apart from each other, and it was the easiest option, and really our only option, to be able to get married when we did. Now I'm just going to talk a little bit about the process of getting a double proxy marriage and what that looked like for us. First of all, ensure that you meet the requirements for a double proxy marriage. You either need to be a Montana resident or one of you needs to be active duty military. Double proxy marriages are a great option for active duty military, especially if you're unable to be in the same place to get married. After that, you're going to find a trustworthy double proxy marriage website. For us, we use Armed Forces Proxy Marriages, and I will include a link to their website in the description. Go on their website and request information. They will email the information to you, and then in the case of Armed Forces Proxy Marriages, they also call us to talk about the process. Following that, you'll fill out any of the required documents and email them back to the company. I'll talk more about the required documents in the next section. After you fill out the documents and send them back to the company, you'll make a payment. For us, that payment was $700, which is about average for a double proxy marriage. They will then fill out an application that will later be submitted to the court, email it to you, and you approve that. After that is submitted, they'll send you another email, and then later they will send you an email once that has been processed. After all of that has been processed, they will send you 2 copies of the certified marriage license and then 1 official copy of the marriage license. They will also email you a certified copy, which can be used for most things that you need. So, for example, if you're changing your name, all you need is a certified copy that you can take in and show them. I will make another video at a later date about the process of changing your name in the state of Wisconsin, because changing your name can be a little bit overwhelming and there are a lot of things to think about. So hopefully that video will help you guys out later. Next, I'm just going to talk about the required documents for Armed Forces Proxy Marriages. Other double proxy marriages might be similar, they might be different in some slight ways, but all of them are going to ask for the same general information. The first thing that we had to fill out was a questionnaire. Each of us had to fill out our own separate questionnaire with basic information such as our name, addresses, birthplace, parental information, any previous marriages, and if you are changing your name, what you want your name to be on the certificate. Personally, I filled out both of our questionnaires because it was easier. I just got the information from him and scanned those and sent them in. The next thing you're going to fill out is 1 affidavit per person. So the affidavit certifies that you are consenting to marry each other. This was probably the trickiest document because it needs to be a notarized signature. Personally, I went to the bank. It was a super easy process. I just went in, met with the teller who was notarized, signed it in front of her, she checked my ID, and then she stamped it. My husband, however, is stationed in Germany on a base where he doesn't have a phone, and so it was difficult for him to get to the legal office on base. So he did an online notary where he went online. It took about 10 minutes total. You upload the document that you want notarized and then your ID, and then they do a live video chat with you in order to notarize the document. The next thing we filled out was a contract with the company. The contract just states what the fee is and what that fee covers and any refund policies, things like that. The last thing was a $700 fee. You paid the fee after the documents were filled out. I believe you can also choose to pay it before. However, I would recommend waiting until afterwards to pay that fee. If paid, but the documents are not submitted to the court and you decide that you would like to retract those documents, you can receive a 50% refund. If those documents have already been submitted to the court, you will not receive a refund. The last thing we needed to submit was our IDs. So in order to verify that my husband was active duty military, he needed to submit his military ID. Otherwise, you could submit a civilian ID with a copy of your latest orders. As a civilian spouse, I needed to submit my civilian driver's license, passport, or birth certificate. I would say the timeline is where I had the most amount of questions when we were first considering a double proxy marriage. I'm going to give you guys our timeline, but keep in mind that it can be shorter or longer depending on how long it takes you to fill out the documents, how long it takes the company to approve those documents and get them sent to the court, and then how long it takes the court to process those documents as well. So in our timeline, we first requested information on February 7th of 2023. We returned those documents on February 8th. The next day, February 9th, we approved the application for them to submit to the court. And then they performed the ceremony for us in front of court on February 16th, which is also our legal wedding date. After that, we received emailed certified copies on February 22nd. And about 4 days later, we received the physical copies of the marriage license. And about 2 weeks later, we received the sealed version of the official copy of the marriage license. In order to do things like enroll in DEERS and change your name, you really only need the certified copies. And for the most part, the email version of that works as a copy to be able to complete those things. So in conclusion, it was an overall fairly simple process. I hope that this video has helped with any questions that you have. Please like, subscribe, and leave any comments below about questions or other videos you would like to see in the future. Thanks for watching.